When you want it the most, there's no easy way out. When you're ready to go and your heart's left in doubt, don't give up on your faith. Love comes to those who believe it, and that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Hello, and what is going on, my fellow Schwoke Lords? What is up? Welcome back yet again to another episode of Cancel Schweezy, better known as the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. Hope everyone's doing good today. Happy Mother's Day. We just passed Mother's Day, and by far one of my favorite holidays because we get to celebrate all the hot moms out there. And if you're a hot mom, I just want to remind you, my DMs are open. Remember, any woman can be a mom, but it takes a true woman to be a mommy. That's, I'm just here to
feel like a woman, a real woman.
So I'm here for you, ladies. I don't know. I was just trying to say something funny at the opening of the show, but Mother's Day, we get to appreciate moms out there, which is sometimes nice, depending on who your mother is. I always wanted to know, though, with Mother's Day, you can't be a mother unless you have children. So, on Mother's Day, shouldn't mothers celebrate their children on that day? Because, pooping out a baby, most people can do that. We're all... if we're all guaranteed one thing in life or whatever, that at least we get to start out that way is that anyone can just have a kid for some reason. For some reason, there's so many kids in foster care. Shouldn't we I don't know, it would get racist really quick, but population control or something. Not every person you meet needs to be a parent. It's weird that if you want to adopt a kid, you have to go through so much fucking bullshit to be able to just adopt a child, a child who needs a, family, and there's two people who have just money in their pockets and they're just fuck it, let's adopt a kid. I always think it's so weird, because I talked to my mom and, she's one of the capital C's, if you know what I'm saying. And, one time I think I told her, I was if I really want a kid, I might just adopt, adopt, don't shop, people. And then she was trying to discourage me from adoption, just it's so hard. You have to be on a wait list. You have to go a year, years pass, and it's just a long process. And I'm aren't you extra pro-life, shouldn't you be supporting adoption being harder, not having biological grandkids, I don't know. You shit that's weird, but, some of you moms out there are great parents, and then some of you are very hot. And so, just a reminder, just wanted to tell you, my DMs are open at the Schweezy, wherever you want to slide in at, and they're all open. So, just letting you know there, and especially... and if you're lucky enough, you'll post something about you petting a dog, and then I get to say, could be us. Or Valkyrie, the Twitch streamer. I think I don't know what platform she streams. She's a streamer. And she, posted on her stories, something her hugging a cow, something like that. So I just decided to respond with, or she was, hugging a cow, and I was could be us. I'll gain the weight back. Fuck my health. If it's between a baddie like Valkyrie and my weight and health, I will choose Valkyrie over my weight and health any day, brother, dude. I will make that. I also don't know her, so I don't know what she's like. So I should probably also mention that. Do you guys ever see a traumatizing video on the internet? Not necessarily traumatizing, but just something you wish you didn't see. Because I see that all the time. I see people getting injured. A couple weeks ago, we watched that old man jerk off.
Come on, Mark, don't be stingy.
But, I think I realized something about myself. I like videos of cool guys, trademark, who are definitely if they're trying to get laid, that is the funniest shit. Like guys on the internet, he's just like, I'm looking for girls for pussy. I'm just like, all right, and this is not how you do it. You can get some, but like this is not how you get it. What you do is you go to a bar, and find the grossest looking chick there, and you tap that. And that's how you get laid, folks. That's the truth out there about how you get laid. It's never like hot chicks, You meet hot chicks at these bars, and they, but it's like the gutter swamp lizards, they're always down. I don't know, life is weird. But I realized something about myself this week, that if I see a video, I have to make all my friends see it too. If I saw something horrible, I make all my friends see it too. And I don't know what that is. Do you think there's like some sort of like psychology there where if I just, it's just like the only way I can process, one, I laugh at it, that's my kind of dealing with hard situations. And, I just like immediately want to make jokes about it. I don't know, it's the way how I get over shit, just make some jokes about it, and like you tell like story, if you ever do a podcast interviews, folks, like, sometimes, the Honeydew does one where they talk about, to highlight the low lives, so you just talk about like the worst moments of your life, and then you just look back and laugh on it, I think that's like a great way to process things. But we're not talking about real life problems. We're talking about videos on the internet. Like I saw a video of a guy on a motorcycle get hit by a train. And I gotta say, he's probably not alive, but I probably gotta say, he knew he didn't have time to cross. Like, he knew. Like, like, trains are fast, but they're not that fast. Like, if you see, it's the same rule as cars. Like, when a car's far away, like, if you have the time to be able to cross the street, with that car there. So I don't really blame that guy. I blame that guy. That was his fault. One of a guy getting burned alive. There was like a giant pit of they were starting a gigantic bonfire. That's Midwest shit. You wouldn't understand. And he was on top of it, spraying it down. And then some asshole decided to throw a match or light a cigarette or some shit. It was from far away, folks. The person filming it was far away. They were smart enough not to get hurt, but they were smart enough to film it. And for that, I gotta say, I like that. What other traumatizing videos? Old men jerking off is always one. I remember back in the day, back before we all used to lock our phones and computers and shit like that. Nowadays, we always do that. I don't know why nowadays. I guess we learned that hackers can get into anything, and so you have to like password protect shit. And we also have like Face ID and fingerprint ID and shit like that. So, it's up in the air, but I don't even know where I was going with this. I was talking about people get injured. Oh, yeah, a lemon party. If you don't know what lemonparty.org is, look at it right now. I will play a laugh track, and you're going to it now. I'm just talking to fill time, and I'm just going to play a couple things on the soundboard.
Let's go full throttle.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
That's rough, buddy.
That's my new one.
I'm built different.
And so now that you've all seen lemonparty.org, just know that what I used to do was, when someone would leave their phone or computer lying out, what you do is just open up a browser, go to lemonparty.org, and just open it, and then you see that fun image. And then after that, you close it and close the screen or whatever. And so when they open their device again, what they will see is a couple old men giving each other blowjobs. It's like not a phone in sight, just people living in the moment. That's what it's just fun to watch it. We all know Barry Wood. He's on the front here. The only black guy, not Shrek, the only black guy. And there's the picture of him with his dick photoshopped. By the way, that dick is photoshopped, by the way. I saw the original photo, and he has a massive member, but he was soft at the time. And that one was like, yeah, he's just always kind of hard. His dick is that big, I don't have that situation. Mine's like a defense mechanism, it's like, go inside. That's why I don't do nude photography, because that would look sad. So yeah, but anyways though, everyone, if, like I said, my DMs are open. If you see someone getting murdered or something funny on the internet, feel free to send it to me. I will laugh at it and I will send my friends, because if I have to see it, they have to see it too. But yeah, Barry Wood's good because you can just like airdrop to people or like find a sneaky link of it, and you're like, you know, like Josh, we all know him, that guy. He was in like Nashville for something, and then I was just like, here's some things you can do while you're in Nashville. I sent that link, and then that came out, like the power was out all over town. So I was like, it's like, yeah, here's the time frame for everyone on when the power will get back. And it was just that photo. You gotta do it sparingly. But yeah, please send me your traumatizing videos. I am happy to tell you my song Gorilla Grip is out now wherever you're streaming your music. It should be available in the link tree. Link in the description. You can find it there. It's going to be on Apple Music and every other streaming service. You just type in, you find the Schweezy page and find Gorilla Grip, and you find it. You know, you guys know how to find shit on the internet. So definitely go check that out. I have other music out there under Schweezy as well, so I want you to stream that shit nonstop. And then, yeah, like I've already mentioned, you can always check me out on social media at the Schweezy. That's a great way to see what I'm doing, what I'm up to, and new podcast episodes and new music and anything else I'm doing. So definitely check that out. We do have a Cash App, PayPal, and Patreon page. All are great ways to financially support us and say thank you for being a friend. So,
Daddy, chill.
And, yeah, when you do that, and you can be the friends that I need, you know? It's like, I love inside jokes, and I'd love to be a part of one someday. And you guys can be a part of one someday. But you can still be a part of the joke. All you have to do is do all the free shit. If you're listening to the show, make sure you go check out our YouTube page, because we do post over there all the time, and we post shorts and shit like that. And you can always just make sure you're subscribed over on YouTube, and, you know, share everything with your friends. Leave us comments if you actually do have something you want to say and stuff like that. I like it when you guys say cool shit, but like sometimes you guys are assholes. So I don't care either way. But if you're on an audio platform, leave us a review and give us a star rating, whichever one you want to give us. That's the best way to help us in the audio algorithms and all that shit.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
All right. And with that being said, let's jump into previous week right now. What is previous week right now? Some of you may be asking yourselves. That is just news from the previous weeks that we are going to be going over right now. So without further ado,
let's just jump into it.
Okay, first one we got is from Whiskey Riff. I had to admit the guy who runs it, and I'm sorry I forgot your name and shit like that. Sorry about that. Waylon Jennings once said there were more ugly women at Conway Twitty shows than anything he'd ever seen. Ooh.
This is the type of guy you get.
Okay, so of all the absolutely fantastic stories I've heard about Waylon Jennings over the years, this is easily one of my favorites. And I certainly don't think it's any secret that he was never afraid to say exactly what was on his mind. And if this isn't proof, I don't know what else could be. Born on June 15, 1937, in Littlefield, Texas, Waylon dropped out of high school at age 16, determined to be a full-time musician. In 1958, Buddy Holly arranged Waylon's first recording session and hired him to play bass. In 1959, while on tour with Buddy and his band, Waylon famously gave up his seat on the plane that crashed and ultimately killed Buddy, J.P. the Big Bopper Richardson, and Richie Valens. He eventually became a pioneer in the country outlaw movement of the 1970s, but admitted plenty of times that was more of a marketing strategy than anything else, and once said that the most outlaw thing Willie ever did was that he probably came to town and double parked on Music Row. He was chock full of great stories and authentic commentary and totally changed the game because of it. And in a great 1988 interview with Spin, Waylon talked about the time that a promoter booked him for a show with Conway Twitty, though his name wasn't out there in all the advertising ahead of time due to confusion with the different shows up north they were appearing at with Dottie West. Well, now my mind is going 100 miles an hour. You know, Dane Bramage has set in. Probably the best story I got. Maybe not the best one, but it's true. We were booked one time up north here. This guy that booked us, and this was about 15 years ago. He sent me to Syracuse, where Dottie was supposed to be, and he sent her to Rhode Island, where I was supposed to be. When Waylon got to Syracuse for one of the shows, he took a very unpolitical correct approach, saying that he never seen so many ugly women in one room in his life. And of course, it was all in jest, but it being Waylon, he couldn't let Conway, who was known for driving the women wild, get off without some friendly shit talking. Well, we got up there in Syracuse, and I was there with Conway Twitty, and I have never seen that many ugly women congregating in all my life, and I told him so. I said, boy, you do draw an ugly class of women. Conway reminded him that it was both of their shows, to which perfectly replied with this. And he said, well, you were booked on this show too. And I said, yeah, but I wasn't advertised. I mean, who could put it quite like that and get it away with it? Hilarious. What a legend. Waylon was certainly one of a kind, and I don't think something like that would pass in an interview today. Moreover, not only do I think that wouldn't pass, I can't think of many artists today who would even say something like that in the first place. And maybe that's a good thing, I don't know, but I do miss when country music had characters like him. He wasn't kidding around when he wrote this one. I've always been crazy. Okay, so... You know the balls to say this during an interview? Like, I'm going to tell you this right now. When you say, people wouldn't say things like that today. They wouldn't say things like that today, ... in a recorded interview. Now, on your own, when you just shit talk with friends and shit like that, oh yeah, you hear this story, you're like, oh, I've never seen so many fucking ugly women in my life, you know? If we want to talk about Ghost Town Remedy for a second, they're a shit band, but they're my friends. I've been to their shows, and there is usually 2 women there, and they are friends / partners of the band. So, and one of them is a friend of the band, I guess, at this point. And yeah, there's not a lot of women there. It's the one of the few shows I've gone to. I've been to a couple of their shows, and it's one of the few that you can talk about the Avatar: The Last Airbender lore with people, and they are interested. And I don't know who's to blame on that one, because I was the one talking about the Avatar: The Last Airbender lore, so, like, I don't even know. I mean, I was in the right spot. It was also like going to see the Marvels in theaters when it wasn't promoted very well, and a lot of other things. When there were 5 guys in the theater, and they all kind of had the same vibe as me, you know? It was like, Brie Larson has a type, and it's me. And, and that, like, you know, yeah, you play these shows, you know. I do freelancing and play with other groups and stuff like that. And I gotta tell you, you know, like, sometimes you're in the band, and, like, you're like, okay, you know, like, because my main rule with playing shows is, like, I'm only going to play music that women actually listen to, which is very broad, too. And so, like, you should be okay with that exception and be like, yeah, I can find something. I can find something I can do. But, yeah, no. But, like, honestly, though, we've all played shows for a bunch of cows. Like, you know, like, I played at a thing with a wet t-shirt contest once, I'm telling you. And how many of those girls were good looking? 2. I'm telling you the truth. There were only 2. I'm just saying that, like, I'm not gonna, like, point out these women. You know, it was kind of weird to say that about, you know, and also, like, you shouldn't say that. Talk shit about your own audience. That's a general rule for being an entertainer. You shouldn't talk shit about your own audience for the most part. You know, it's like, they're the ones coming to your show and paying to see you. Like, you shouldn't be talking shit about them. You should be like that. But he did have a good excuse there. 1, he wasn't advertised on the show. 2, Conway Twitty was advertised on the show, so there would be Conway Twitty's fans coming to the show, not a fucking Waylon Jennings. Not Waylon Jennings fans, they're Conway Twitty fans. And yeah, they are ugly. And honestly, when I think about Conway Twitty's audience, nowadays I think of like older women with like the beehive haircut, which is the sign that you're in a sexless marriage, by the way. There's like certain haircuts that women have, and when they have those haircuts, that means they are done having sex. They do not ever want to have sex ever again, and they stopped looking attractive. They become men for the most part, you know? Like, very few women I've seen can pull off like a short hairstyle, but a lot more try, and a lot of those women who try are slowly becoming men. And you know what? If some of you probably have a short fucking beehive hairstyle, and you're like, maybe this is the reason why I'm not getting laid, or something like that. I'm like, there's your problem. There's your problem right there. But overall, do I agree with Waylon? Yes. And did he say it in the right moments? He actually did. He's like, this is the ugliest. Well, I don't know. When you're performing, you don't really want to criticize the audience, but I feel like Waylon Jennings could get away with that and stuff like that. And also, they weren't there to see him, so I feel like that's good. But, overall, though, whose fault was this? This was Conway Twitty's fault. Like, you have the fat cows at your shows. We'll be right back. Are you tired of tossing and turning on a mattress that just doesn't cut it? It's time to upgrade to the ultimate sleep experience with Novilla mattresses. Novilla mattresses are designed with your comfort in mind, using innovative technology to provide the perfect balance of support and softness. Whether you prefer memory foam, hybrid, or inner spring, Novilla has the mattress to suit your needs. Say goodbye to the restless nights and hello to the rejuvenating sleep that you've been needing. With Novilla's advanced materials and ergonomic design, you'll wake up feeling refreshed and ready to take on the day. Plus, Novilla offers hassle-free delivery right to your doorstep and a risk-free trial period, so you can sleep easy knowing you've made the right choice. Transform your sleep experience today with Novilla mattresses. Visit novilla.us to explore their range of premium mattresses and start sleeping better tonight. Using promo code Schweezy or the link in our description, you can save 10% on any purchase through Novilla directly. Ready to transform your sleep experience? Visit their website today and choose the Novilla mattress that suits your needs. Your journey to a better night's sleep starts with Novilla mattresses. Try out the mattress that your mom tried out last night. Nice. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. Hey fitness enthusiasts, are you ready to take your workouts to the next level while making a positive impact on the world? Introducing FNX Fitness, the ultimate destination for high quality supplements and gear that fuels your body and supports your fitness journey. But here's what sets FNX apart. For every purchase you make, FNX donates clean water to communities in need around the globe. That's right, with every protein powder, pre-workout, or apparel item you buy, you're not just investing in your health, you're also helping provide clean, life-saving water to those who need it most. From performance-boosting supplements to durable workout gear, FNX has everything you need to crush your fitness goals while making a difference in the world. And with their commitment to quality and transparency, you can trust that you're getting the best products on the market. So why settle for ordinary supplements when you can support a company that's making a real impact? Head over to fnxfitness.com today to shop their incredible selection and join the movement for a healthier and happier world. Using our link in the description, you can save 15% off your order with FNX Fitness. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. Is it finally time for us to make fun of megachurches? I mean, we do that every week on this show. But today I wanted to talk about the HBO hit TV show, The Righteous Gemstones, starring, Danny McBride, Edie Patterson, Adam Devine, and most importantly of all, John Goodman. One fun thing about John Goodman is I took a class, it was taught by a theater teacher when I was in college, and he went to Missouri State University, John Goodman, and my teacher went there too, and they went apparently at the same time. And she always talked about how, like, John Goodman could walk into a scene and, like, he just believed he was that character. Like, he was that good. He's pretty much a legend. We already know he's a legend. You know, we already know he's great and a legend and awesome. But, I wanted to talk about The Righteous Gemstones. If you didn't know what The Righteous Gemstones is, it's on HBO. It's an HBO show. You can watch it on Max, obviously. Formerly HBO Max, but now it's just Max because God hates HBO or something because they made this show. But basically, the Righteous Gemstone depicts Eli Gemstone. That's John Goodman. He is a mega pastor. He's been doing televangelism and doing mega churches like since he was, since he became a pastor. That was always his goal, to be rich and make money and put on a spectacle. Doing the whole church thing, and then his wife, played by Jennifer Nettles of Sugarland, she's dead in the show, but you see she comes back a lot in flashbacks. She was like a professional singer, and I think she had her big hit, like Misbehaving. You were at the porch and I was by the river, misbehaving. Oh, and then let's not forget Baby Billy Freeman. Played by Walton Goggins, a man who steals every single scene he has ever been in any movie ever. People don't think Ant-Man the Wasp is that fun of a movie, but Walton Goggins was in it. And one thing about Walton Goggins is he was perfect in that movie. And people are still talking about that movie, about who was this secret buyer that he was working for? He was buying, who was he working for the entire time? And he's still alive in the MCU. I think they just went to jail or some shit like that. But yeah, no, so they're basically the old generation, and now they had kids, and now their kids are all working at the church. Judy is the middle child, and then Jesse, Danny McBride, he's the head, and then Kelvin, he's the baby of the family. He started off when he was a very young boy. He was a baby. He was kind of the baby of the family. So Jesse is an associate pastor who preaches sometime. I think by season 3 becomes the somewhat head pastor, or they're all three running equally together, run the church. And then Judy, I think she learns she can sing, or somehow can make money singing in the show. And Kelvin is the youth pastor. And by the way, Adam Devine playing Kelvin is just the perfect Carl Lentz impersonation. I think they were trying to they based a lot of these characters off of real life people. Stephen Furtick, I think, is one. I think that he might be the main one, since he's mainly out of South Carolina, the show's kind of based out of. And then I don't know where I was going with this. Yeah, so Stephen Furtick. I think Joel Osteen gets in there. They do some Texas stuff. And they get Texas in there. I'm just thinking about all the televangelists. I think they were based off of, who did Tammy Faye and John Baker, or whatever his last name was, or something at the time. I think it was John Baker. Yeah, they had that. There's a movie also on Max about them. They were kind of the forefronts of televangelism, and then probably the dude who has Liberty University and his dad, or whatever. But yeah, it's a funny take on the show, on Christianity and everything there, because with it, they just talk about how spoiled these kids are, and these spoiled brats are running a church now, and it's honestly a good reflection of our everyday lives, that it's just spoiled children who've never had to suffer or anything, and probably just grew up in church and were I'm just following the family business and go in there. So that's the Righteous Gemstones, and by far funny show, especially for me, because Danny McBride, the creator of the show, he went to church as a kid, but he didn't know too much, but he's nailing some of this shit. He's nailing it. Some parts, I'm not necessarily saying they did wrong, but there's things that I want to say that mega pastors usually don't do, and so we're kind of going to get into that more in the episode. Let's go into the season by season breakdown. So season 1, first of all, we get to meet Baby Billy Freeman, Uncle Baby Billy. And they refer to him as Uncle Baby Billy instead of just Uncle Billy, some shit like that. They were they all just, and it's never when they're always mad at him. He's always doing some fucking nonsense. And they were damn it, Uncle Baby Billy, what are you doing? And so, so it's his estranged brother-in-law, so his wife's brother-in-law. He was estranged and just crazy and shit like that. And, and so you start off with Baby Billy's going to be the head pastor at a church that used to be a Sears, which apparently they filmed it at something that used to be a real Sears, and like they just kept some of the props around to be funny and shit. And so like basically like that, and he's causing shit with other local churches in this area. But the main plot of this entire season is that Jesse and his church buddies and basically his like entourage of church friends, like one's a worship pastor and the other guys are just like friends. A video of them was filmed when they were snorting cocaine, and then there was a hooker there. And like at the beginning of the season, you're like, okay, yeah, cheating on your wife is bad. Maybe you should confess up to it, do the right thing or whatever. But then you learn that everyone in that group, they just did drugs and cocaine mainly, and one guy fucked a prostitute. And I'm like, okay, that's not as bad, you know? It's like, I mean, there's some ethics there. Like, is this church money? What's going on there? You know, there's some ethics there. But overall, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't think drugs are, I don't know. You know, I don't think the church congregants would like it, but, you know, I'm like, yeah, just be like, just go for it. Just be like, yeah, I have a cocaine problem. I'm going to go into rehab. You know, it's an easy fix, you know, and you'd be like, especially for Christians, you're like, you know, I have struggles too, and I want to be honest about them. I love cocaine or some shit like that, you know? So like that, you could easily do that. And so these guys get the video of it, and then they try to blackmail them into like a ton of money, and like they don't want to pay the money because they're church people and they like to hoard all the money for themselves. And so it's like that. But you learn, like by the second episode, one of the guys blackmailing them is Jesse's son, estranged son, Gideon. And so, you know, they go have all these back and forths, like mystery, and then, you know, the main guy who really wants the gemstone money, he like, you know, he tries to kill people, and then he eventually gets killed, and drama happens, and yeah, that's basically the season. You know, they kind of, and it's kind of cool because they always end on a happy note, or like I like it when shows like end a season where it's like they don't leave the cliffhanger for next. I hate it when they do a cliffhanger for the next season, you know, because then you have to wait, and then everyone puts in their theories, and like everyone like it builds too much expectations on what they're expecting, you know, unless they've already developed the season or whatever. But yeah, I always like it when shows like they end the season kind of like it could just end here and we could all be good. I always hate it when they like try leading to the next season and then, oh yeah, I didn't get renewed and shit like that. I'm like, God damn it. So they always end it like that, and they always it's weirdly more of a family focused story versus like, let's make fun of church people. And so but they do act like church people, so I end it. The second season. This is like, I think the second season is probably the most interesting to me because they go over the Memphis Mafia or the Dixie Mafia, whatever you want to call it. They go back into Eli's past. So Eli's main story, I guess, is that he used to be a wrestler. I'm probably not professional. It was at an American Legion in Memphis, so I don't know if it was that good, but probably pretty popular around Memphis at the time. And so what happened is that the guy who runs this Dixie Mafia or this mafia ring, he is the head promoter, and then, you know, people make bets on fights, and if you don't, so Eli used to like just fucking break people's hands. He had like this whole signature move to break people's hands. And then, like, if you didn't give her money, like, break your hands. And they say that's Eli's past. And Eli, apparently, you know, in the present day, he's very much like, yeah, you know, I have a past, but, you know, and I met the Amy Lee, and she changed my life, and then I decided to become a pastor and change my whole life around. You know, standard story, you know, nothing anyone in, you know, the church business would be like, you know, it's, you know, everyone has a past, but it's cool you found God in the meantime, you know, shit like that. So then it's like this murder. So we start getting into like murder mystery type shit, which I love, especially when they do it well. Not like, Justin Hartley, there's this one show you're in, The Seeker, some shit like that, and it's very predictable. So, but like this is good because like you don't know, and you think because like then this Jason Schwartzman plays this guy named Thaniel Block from New York, and he's just an asshole, and then everyone around him in the South is just very friendly to him. Like this is why this is one plus for the South. You know, the South doesn't always get a lot. So one good thing. That is one nice thing about the South. Assuming racism didn't exist, everyone would just be friendly to, you're just friendly to people, you don't have to be a dick, you say hi, if someone says hi to you, you say hi back, you just acknowledge their existence and be friendly, don't be a dick, and so that, and then there's this other, and then he gets murdered, and so they think that Junior, the head guy's son or whatever, of this, he's just around, and so he played by Charles Schwartzman from Suits. If you didn't know who that is, he plays such a good villain too. Like, by the way, I hope he gets in a Marvel role or something. He and so like that, and so Thane the Block, it's like they find him and like he's murdered, and then they find and then eventually they go back and like the house is being burned down. They think it's Junior who did it, and so. That's the crazy thing. So the season develops, and then there's like this dirt mic ninjas, or I think they call it something like that, cycle ninjas, and they try to actually kill Jesse and Amber, and like it was a pretty scary moment. And at one point, Eli gets shot, but he makes a recovery. Don't worry. And so you have that and going on, and eventually, and then and by the way, Eli Gemstone has no communication skills at all. Like, if when he thought Charles Schwartzman Jr. murdered them, he's like, I don't think we should see each other anymore, Junior. And then it's like eventually they have to come back together, and it's like, Junior, I'll be honest with you, I've not been a good friend to you, and I apologize. He's like, oh, okay, that's all it is. I'm like, just men not communicating with each other. And then they're like, oh, I didn't hire the Cycle Ninjas. Those aren't mine. And then you find out that since Jesse and Amber are teaming up with Eric Andre and Lindy, and they're the Listens from Texas, and like they put the hit out on. They have this whole fucking teenage organization of Cycle Ninjas or whatever, and they're trying to put the hit out for the Gemstones, so that way they can make their fucking Christian resort, some bullshit like that. And that's pretty much season 2. Yeah, it's pretty much season 2. They figure that out. Things get resolved. Oh yeah, and the Listens end up getting murdered by their own Cycle Ninjas. That's how it is. Third season. I think third season's also very interesting because it focuses on preppers, or like people who are assuming the end times are coming soon and they got to be ready, so they're all prepped up for it. And you find out that Eli has a sister, and his sister married Steve Zahn, who is this crazy prepper at this point, and he holds a grudge with the Gemstones because he invested all his life saving into some Y2K stock or whatever like that, and the Gemstones were like, oh, we'll buy it back from you. We obviously thought the times were coming. They probably didn't. They're just trying to scam. And yeah, we need to make this right by the people who did this. So yeah, I'm okay with, we're going to have to take a hit to our bank account, for this. And he was like, no. Then he robbed a bank and got shot in the face and then went to jail. And then he got out, and now he's trying to destroy the Gemstones. And he has 2 kids and stuff like that. Judy has an affair with a guitar player from her tour. He is like in his 40s and has frosted tips. Shit like that. So that's pretty funny. And so you get into that, and, with like prepper doomsday people, like that was pretty fucking interesting, like to see what they're doing. And it was like a militia too. And so like the FBI was always after them. It was like some pretty interesting stuff. So yeah, that's kind of like what happened in the Righteous Gemstones. It's all the in-between stuff that they like make fun of church people. Is like, ugh, go on a mission trip to Haiti. What are we? I'm just like, I think it's the whole kind of point of the Bible to minister, and you get to be a white savior. So I'm like, isn't that the whole point of all this? Isn't that the reason for the season? But yeah, so yeah, it's an interesting take on megachurches and how these people actually act. And you're like, people don't really act like this? I'm like, yes, they do. And we're watching them behind closed doors, and that's exactly how these people act behind closed door. And I know. And I would know because I've worked in mega churches. I've worked at small churches. I've worked at them all. And they all have the same fucking people. There's like a guy. There's always like a guy in there who's like cool for a guy who goes to church, and he's like the social butterfly of the group. You know who I'm talking about. But yeah, and it's definitely. I have to tell you this. For people who are like, they did nothing wrong, they're just making fun of Christianity, you know. And I just want to remind you, I think this is what Jesus said in Matthew 19:24, because I have to bring up the Bible so people know I know what it's going on apparently. Again, I tell you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God. Remember that for all the C's out there who have anything to say about this isn't real. Like, this is pretty real. They get these characters right. Now, they probably don't cuss as much as they do on the show. Like, they kind of have Danny, that was kind of written with Danny McBride's sailor mouth. But, yeah, just want to remind you that. But one thing I will give the show props for, and what all pastors can learn from, and all church leaders can learn from this show, is that in this show, they did a couple sermons here and there, and the sermons were very, like, I would always say, like, inspirational speeches, you know, for the most part, which churches at their best really can be that, just inspirational speeches, but they never preached about the bullshit they did in their life. Like, you didn't hear much about sexual purity. The only one who went on that was Kelvin, and at this point in the show, he's not had any romantic interest at all. So, you know, that's plus they never talk about that sexual sin. They didn't talk about being gay, being bad, and they had a secret gay lifestyle. They didn't really, they practiced what they preached, and that is very interesting. And I think a lot of church leaders are like, they're just calling us. I'm like, no, we are holding you accountable for your actions, because your actions include preaching about how horrible and wrong this is, but then you go off and do it. We're calling you out. We're holding you accountable for your actions. That's all people want. That's a mutual agreement. That should be a mutual thing that all Christians believe in. But no, they're like, we want to protect sex abusers and shit like that, you know? And that's the one thing about this, minus like Judy had an affair and like her siblings were like, this ends right now, you know? They're not like, how do we hide this? What do we do? You know, like they decided to keep it somewhat hush, you know? But like at the same time, they're like, we're going to stop doing this, you know? Which, not a lot of pastors have. But yeah, I think the last thing, what else do I have to talk about? I think there were a lot of penises in the show. Like, you may have saw one or two boobs in the show, but you saw a lot of penises. And I'm only saying this because I am ashamed of myself for how long I looked at them because I was comparing sizes. And I will be honest, like, I honestly, if I wasn't going to say admitting sizes, I would just say that. But yeah. Overall, though, my last thing I want to say is I have this cool idea for a plot, Danny McBride, and I want you to listen to me. I'm going to tell you this, a cool subplot for the Righteous Gemstones. Not like a full long thing, but like a subplot. And that is that there's a Christian pop punk singer in the group, and I will play that character. You do whatever makeup I have to do. I'll shave. I'll lose more weight. I'll do whatever I need to do. And then what I'll do is, like, I don't know, be some sort of foil in there. Like, all the kids think I'm cool and whatever, but like Kelvin has beef with me because he's jealous or whatever. And so yeah, because Christian pop punk was a big thing in the early 2000s, you know, and that's really how they got a lot of people in churches and how they got people interested in, you know, just Jesus in general was from Christian pop punk music. So yeah, I think it'd be a cool thing to explore, and I'd love to play the part Danny McBride. Please listen to me and try this idea with me, please, and thank you. And yeah, we'll be right back. Let's talk about the app that's revolutionizing the way that we handle money, Cash App. Whether you're splitting the bill with friends, paying rent, or even buying stocks, Cash App makes managing your finances fast, simple, and secure. With just a few taps on your phone, you can send money to anyone, anywhere, instantly. But Cash App is more than just a money transfer service. It's also your gateway into the world of investing. With Cash App Investing, you can buy and sell stocks, Bitcoin, and more, all from the convenience of your mobile device. And here's the best part. Cash App is committed to financial empowerment. That's why they offer features like Cash Boost, where you can get instant discounts at your favorite stores and restaurants, just for using your Cash Card. So whether you're sending money to family, investing for the future, or simply looking to save a few bucks on your next purchase, Cash App has you covered. Luckily, the best part is, if you sign up today using the link in our description, you yourself, I'm talking about you, can get $5 just for signing up. That literally is free money. Cash App, the money app that works for you. And when you use our links, you directly support this show. Let me ask you something. Who doesn't love saving money? With Honey, you can say goodbye to endless searching for coupon codes and hello to instant savings every time you shop online. Honey is the free browser extension that automatically finds and applies the best coupon codes at checkout, saving you time and money on all your favorite sites. Whether you're shopping for clothes, electronics, or even ordering food delivery, Honey has got your back. But that's not all. When you sign up for Honey using the link in the description, you'll unlock even more benefits, like exclusive discounts and cashback rewards on your purchases. So why wait? Join millions of savvy shoppers who are already saving with Honey. Download the Honey browser extension and start putting money back in your pocket today. And don't forget to sign up using the link in the description to access extra perks and maximize your savings. Happy shopping. Honey, the smart way to shop online. And also don't forget, when you use our links, you directly support this show. It is time for Oh No, Our Table, the part of the podcast where I just give you some advice and you accept it no matter what it is, for any reason whatsoever. So, yeah.
Let's just jump into it.
Let's see what your problems are today. Why are there no gay incels? Oh, okay. Starting off strong here today.
Got him!
So, if we look at the term incel, it is short for involuntarily celibate, which means you are celibate but not voluntarily. Just to numb it down a little bit. So, yeah, so your question is, these guys, incels, usually don't get women because they have, one, too high of a standard for a woman they want in their life. They also, like, have unrealistic expectations, and then they're like, yeah, she doesn't look like Gal Gadot. I don't think I can fuck her. I'm like, okay, but you are like a 3 out of 10 and you don't shower. So I think there's more reasons here why you're down bad than that. You probably hate women. You can't get laid if you hate women. That's pretty much an honest fact. You can't get laid if you hate women, unless you don't hear about gays. You don't hear gay men doing that. But I think the real reason why you don't see gay incels is because having sex with a guy is super easy. Like, you don't have to travel very far. In fact, I could probably have sex with a dude in about 30 minutes right now. And that also includes downloading and signing up for Grindr. Like, it's that easy, folks. And like, there's more than Grindr. There's more apps than Grindr, but Grindr's the popular one. So that's the one we use. And yeah, so you can pretty much fuck a guy whenever you want. Like, and this is for women and men. Like, anyone, if you want to have sex with men, you can do that whenever you want to. And the fact that you can do that whenever you want to, it means that you technically can't be an incel. And, when your balls are empty from pee and cum, then, you don't really have too many problems, It's like girls are always like, what can I get my guy? He doesn't like flowers. I'm like, just fucking suck his balls dry, And that's what gay guys do. They know how to suck each other dry. And in that process of doing that, they are like, you know what? Women aren't that bad. I bet there's probably a lot of gay men who really hate women, but I feel like those are few and far between because to be a gay guy, you have to have a lady BFF, usually they're not attractive to. So you're just like, huh. Remember when you're younger, you don't really realize some people are gay, and then you're just like, it's like, huh, I feel like that guy could do better than her, and you're like, oh yeah, he's gay, and they're just friends. It's like, okay. You got me. You got me there. So The reason why there are no gay incels is because gay guys have sex whenever they want and all the time. And it's pretty easy to have sex with a guy. Anyone can have sex with a guy. So you just gotta work hard and then play hard.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
Do men find shaved heads on women attractive? Okay, so I would personally never ever shave my head, but I have noticed women do it and then they're shocked when men don't approach them. So I'm curious what men actually think about shaved heads on women. And I'm not talking about cancer survivors. I'm talking about women who shave their heads on a whim and they don't understand why it changed their dating options. Okay, so the reason why men don't find shaved heads attractive, I don't want to say every man. Like, I bet you can find a couple chicks out there who are hot with shaved heads. Like, they exist, but not a lot of them. And just saying, when there is something to sexual attraction where I'm attracted to women, and it doesn't mean I'm attracted to any person with a vagina. That means I'm attracted to women. I like the way women look. I like the way women feel. And I like the way, I don't know, even all the problems women cause in my life. You just like it. And that's what you're attracted to. That's what you want to have like a relationship with, that's me. And so like, I'm a big believer in like, I don't like a woman with like hairy pits or hairy legs. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm saying you do you. And I'm always encouraging you to be yourselves and just be who you want to be. And then the rest will follow. You should always be yourself first and like embrace who you are. And then go for it. And if that is shaving your head and you're a lady and having hairy legs and pits, then I say you do it. But if you're like, you need to find me attractive with hairy legs, hairy armpits, and a shaved head. Nope, I'm not going to do that because I'm not. And so you can't expect men to think about that. And I think one of the big things with a shaved head, why men aren't attracted to it, is because most women, when they shave their head, they just look like guys. And guess what? Some guys are not attracted to other guys. Some are, and I always try to help them.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
See if we could just maybe try a woman once. See, just try it. Just try it. Let's see what happens, But really the answer is because you look like a man, and a lot of men don't want to date other men. Or we're talking about the straights here. Sorry for everyone else. But like, sometimes you meet, because for me, I'm attracted to women and I want her to look like a woman, that's what I'm attracted to. So like for me, I want to date women who look like women, that's how it is. And, and a lot of men probably agree with me here and will agree with the sentiment saying you look like a man. There's something about like a man, like if a man kind of like, wears dresses and shit like that, it's not like most women don't like it or anything, but like it's not like an attractive thing to just be like, yeah, this guy wears dresses all the time. Yeah, I'm not that attracted to it. I'm not attracted to women, and it's kind of too ladylike for me. And there's nothing wrong with what you're attracted to, but you just have to be realistic in the world and say like, oh yeah, if I shave my head, I'm gonna look like a boy, and if I look like a boy, men are not going to want to date me and stuff like that. So you just have to realize that. But like I said, always do you. Always be yourself. If yourself is a shaved head, that's a shaved head. But don't be upset if people don't find you attractive because of that. You have to, you made that choice because you said this makes me comfortable. And one of those things, if you're going to have like some sort of like of a risky appearance, like you're doing something risky with it, like my hair looks like this, So I know what it's like, It's like things are going to be a little different if you want to do that. And the biggest thing is to own it. And if you don't own it, and really, like they say confidence is what women are attracted to in men. I do think there's a little bit of that for women too. You got to be kind of confident. If you're kind of timid and shy, unless you're super hot, then you probably won't get too much going on for you. That's just, it's just how the world is. And, we're living in the world and we got to be ourselves, but we also have to have realistic expectations for our choices. It's life. Do men really cry less than women on average? All the men I know say they haven't cried in years. I cry multiple times a month, sometimes if I'm sad, frustrated, or even just emotionally touched. It's always been natural for me. So I think men do cry less than women, but it's one of those things we don't talk about, And I think, we talked about in our last question, like, what's this world like? And this is what our world's like. And men are raised to have to be tough and hold in their emotions and stuff like that. Especially if you're from like an Irish family, you're just like, bottle it up. Or worst case scenario, and be like, find Jesus. The reason why you're sad is because you don't have Jesus in your life. That's what I was told as a kid. And so it's just like that. Men have to be tough, and like crying is a sign of weakness. And there's probably something biological in all of our brains that are just like, we can't show weakness. And there is something in men, like men are not allowed to show weakness. And it's just how we were all raised. And I don't agree with it either. I think it should be okay. But also, we have to think at the same time, ladies are not attracted to men crying. And women always talk about how, man's like, oh, I just wish my man cried more. I wish he cried more. I'm like, no, you don't. You wish you just understood his, like, emotions and stuff like that. But in reality, like, you don't want a guy who cries. Like, that is the last thing that, if a guy's eyes are wet, her vagina is dry. It's how it is. And, men should be allowed to cry, and if they're feeling sad, they should be allowed to cry. Instead of going into a private room and getting it all out in there and making sure no one's around to see it, it should be different. But I think the reason why men do cry less than women is because we are told that we have to be tough and strong, and we can't show any signs of weakness because a sign of weakness is not good. And to be honest, and at the end of the day, women are not attracted to men. Like, every woman would leave our lives if we were just crying all the time, and shit like that. So, yeah, should it change? Yes. Will it? Probably not, because women are on this movement about, or not women, everyone's on this movement about how men should be able to cry and stuff like that. But once it happens, women will be like, why come there's no, like, real men out there, and that's what they're going to say. And I'm like, well, you wanted guys to be more emotional, and then they did. And then now you are upset that they're acting like women. So, it's how it is. Do guys care about scars on the girl's body? I had open heart surgery when I was a kid. Recently, a guy asked me about the scar and seemed to be bothered by it. I'm just really insecure about it now, even though I explained he said he would be turned off by it. Really? This guy's turned off? I don't know any guy who would be turned off, especially like a scar from heart surgery. And I'm assuming it says you're 25. Like, that's pretty young too. Like, you had it wasn't like you earned the heart surgery. It just happened. So really, yeah, why would I care? I think I met one girl once, and then I was uninterested because she said she couldn't go to Plowtown because of like her heart condition. And I was like, I don't think this is gonna work between us. Just, but like, there's a guy out there for her, and who would definitely be all down for that. But but like, you're definitely like, yeah, I can go to Plowtown, and the guy's like, bro, are you? That guy might be gay. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think he's gay.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
I don't know, like. Like, I don't like that scar on you. Like, what? Shut the fuck up, dude. Dude, for real? Like a heart surgery scar is bad for you? I'm like, this should not. First of all, lady. That was mean. That sounded rude. First of all, you have nothing to worry about. There are plenty of guys in the ocean who will, in the literal ocean right now, who would love for you. And probably on land. If we're being honest, on land too, he's probably like, but yeah, no. I don't think that should be a concern for a guy. I don't even understand the whole stretch marks and cellulite. First of all, I've seen cellulite. I Googled, searched it, and I got to say, those just look like legs for the most part. Who gives a shit about that? Like, it's not bad. Stretch marks, we don't have stretch marks. Who fucking gives a shit, Like, who gives a shit about stretch marks? Like, it's not that bad. And also, you can move your eyes up to her tits. Like, if it's a problem, you can change where you're looking. And also, like, this guy's like, I can't just do a doggy, that's like it's kind of like some people, people like doing that and shit like that. Some people don't, but you always have that option, and like, you always have that option. Like, I don't know what this guy's problem is. I think this guy's gay. I'm gonna be honest with you. This guy is gay.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Has someone ever challenged you to something that they didn't know you were an expert at? If so, how did it turn out for you/them? Okay, so I gotta tell a school story now. So there's a kid who I don't know, he didn't know me. And that was the best part. And like, I think all the teachers kind of know who I am at the school, even like when I started, that I was like, a musician and stuff like that. And I gotta say, there's a lot of good guitar teachers at our school, at the school I'm working at. There's a lot of great ones, but I will say I'm better than all of them. And that's because I've dedicated my life to it, and they're teachers. And it's not that they're bad, I'm just saying I'm better than them. And this kid was like, can you even play guitar? Like, can you even write a song? I was like, yeah, I could probably do that. And I just went on like I wasn't anything. And then I had one kid get a guitar from the music classroom, and I'm just like, just start wailing away on it. And he's just like, oh, I've played. He was literally,
Congratulations, you played yourself.
so I like owned that kid, and it was pretty great. It was a pretty great day for that. And you're just like, how long have you been playing? I'm like, I don't know, for like 18 years. So 100% before you were born. I've been writing music before you were born too, brother. So that was so funny. Just like looking at his face, like just like his eyes open up and like, what? I'm just playing shit on the guitar. That's fun. Yeah, I like to set myself up for those challenges and stuff like that. Just like let people know you're not good at something, and just don't. Most people who are good at something don't brag about it. Which, like, if people. Only time I bring up music is like when someone asks about it. I don't bring it up myself because that's fucking lame. But like, yeah, you just like get them. It's like, you probably can't even play guitar, dude. I'm like, all right, well, you want to try it out? I always like calling people's bluffs. That's like the best way to live your life, is for people to call you out on shit and then prove them wrong. Like, if any of you have an opportunity to do that into your life, especially someone who's young, definitely take that opportunity to rise above to the occasion and do it, because it is, oh man, that was so much fun to do that. And now no kid tries to challenge me on the guitar, because I will whoop them every single time. Well, now I've been teaching guitar classes at the school, so it's like, I can, they all know. I just like walk in, I play like the Master of Puppets riff, and they all try to play it, and it sounds like it's not as good as when I play it. But they're learning, they're beginners, so I'm not gonna like talk shit on beginners. We all start somewhere. I started inside someone's mom. Oh, all right. Why do many Christians back Trump? He doesn't seem to be all that religious. Okay. So I believe there's a history lesson here that I will 100% not get all the facts straight. But I believe it was around the time of Ronald Reagan. And he really tried, I guess, advertise, or... I'll just say advertise. He really tried to advertise himself as someone for the Christians. And so, like, at that point, all the Christians started jumping on the Republican train. And the Republican, and with doing that, so, like, all these Christians started becoming registered Republicans and diehard Republicans and shit like that. And, yeah, that's pretty much how it started. And, yeah, we kind of go from here, and then we get to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump did the same exact shit Ronald Reagan did, where he convinced Christians that he was a man of God, and like he was almighty, and Trump like ordained him to lead the country and shit like that. And yeah, and a lot of voters are pretty fucking stupid. Just like, I don't know, like, it's between Trump and Biden. Like, I don't like either of them, but like, one of them wants to do genocide and create like a fascist dictatorship government, and the other guy is just like old and probably won't get anything done, and at least tries to help people, and at least for the most part. And you're just like, yeah, I want to support the dictator. It's just like there's so many uninformed voters on both sides. I'm not even talking about Republicans, but so many uninformed voters that they just think like, oh, Trump is a man of God. Oh, he read the Bible. I guess it's real. I guess he's real. I'm like, you really just believe anything you see on the internet? Like, for real, like, I don't know, like, people need to be more mindful of voting and stuff like that. And just like, how did, you look at the 2016 election, like, everyone I knew, like, everyone I know and everyone I saw all over the world was, like, a fan of Bernie, but somehow Hillary kept winning, and you're just like, are you guys just doing that because she's been around longer and she's a woman? And, like, like, she's not a good candidate either. Like, really. And, like, like, people have to be so uninformed on shit that, like, I know some people just probably go in and just always vote Republican, aren't informed on anything, and just, like, my family raised me with values, so I gotta vote for Republican. And yeah, and if you really have read the Bible, which most Trump supporters have not, by the way, because most of them cannot read, if you believe in the whole Antichrist bullshit, like, Trump lives up to all of that, like, and they, like, describe the Antichrist as, like, a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm like, this is, like, 100% a wolf in sheep's clothing, like, manipulating people into, like, voting for him and, like, pretending he's a man of God, and just, like, and he doesn't even quote Bible verses correctly. Like, he's like 2 Ephesians. There's no 2 Philippians or whatever. Like 2 Timothy. I'm like, okay, it's 2 Timothy. That's how you say it. And if you went to church, you would probably know that. I knew that because I went to church and I've read the Bible. But you haven't. And so, yeah, and then, like, he just, like, all he does is, like, I'm a man of God, but I want to kill all these people, I want to murder people, I want to murder anyone who's a different skin color than orange and white. I'm like, okay. He's, like, and that's one thing you can always stumble a Christian on. Do you think Donald Trump represents Christ? And they will either avoid the question or say yes. And then when they say yes, you can just show them facts and data, which is not something a Republican likes to see. Facts and data and all the truth. Apparently that's how it is. And it's like, if he doesn't win, it's the devil trying to manipulate the government. But if he does win, it was God. I was like, okay, the devil doesn't exist. 2, he wouldn't be that powerful if he did. If God created him, and then God created the universe, and God puts his cap on all the power, that means someone can have the power of Satan, then they could possibly be more powerful than God. And it's like, but God created him, and he's like, you don't want to make him weaker than you, Crazy stuff. But why do Christians back Trump? It's because they are both idiots. They were born in it. They were raised by it. Fell into the pit. I was molded by it. Shit like that. Last question we got here. How would you feel about school taking up an extra hour every day to teach basic adult stuff? I think the idea is really good for that. Like, yeah, basic adult stuff. But for the most part, I don't think kids would pay attention in that class. I know the kids at my school, they take a personal finance class, and I guarantee none of them have listened to it. I had reason to not listen to it because I decided to go into music, and you just fight for your life. That's all it is with finances. When you're a musician, you're just fighting. You're just fighting for your life for the most part. So that's that. But, like, they talk about taxes, and I'm like, well, for the most part, with taxes, like, TurboTax and H&R Block and shit, like, if you just get a W-2, like most people do, like, you just fill out the information on TurboTax and then send it, and then it gets approved, and then you get your money back. You get the money back or whatever. That's really all it is. It's like when it gets more complicated than that, like, most people just go to a tax expert. Like, once it's more complicated than just, like, copying your W-2 into a online form or whatever, like, that's basically a taxes, like changing a tire, like, that is useful information. That would be more information I would put for, like, oh, if you're gonna be a licensed driver, you should probably know how to change a tire. I always hate, like, that they don't teach women how to do that shit. I'm like, one, it doesn't require that much strength to change a tire. It takes a little bit, but, like, it's not too much. And then, like, anyone can do it. Like, basic car stuff, like, that's mainly stuff that would probably be better if they did, like, driver's ed or something like that. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, I think the idea is cool, teach about adult stuff, and especially more useful stuff. Like, I think there was one senator right now who's like, they should get rid of Algebra 2, and a lot of teachers were like, yeah, that would be good, but they should replace it with, like, data, like data and statistics, because that would be more useful in the real world than like more algebra or more geometry. Like algebra, geometry, and then like data and statistics and stuff like that. And then if you're going to a higher field like calculus and all the other bullshit, you do there. So yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a good idea, but like I don't think kids are gonna really pay attention at all to this. So yeah, it's how it is. But yeah. But anyways, though, that's how we're ending today's episode of Cancel Schweezy. I hope you guys had a good time, and hope I really informed you and taught you a lot. This is an education platform, not me making jokes. This is for your own education. So thank you guys so much. Like I said, my new song, Gorilla Grip, out now wherever you're streaming music at. So make sure you go check that out right now. You're going to be able to hear the song after this. So thank you guys so much for listening. Honk if you love butt drugs, and stay awesome. I saw the picture of her inside your house, and now I'm getting her to take off her blouse. The way she smiled when I said she's 24, she's got a body that makes jaws hit the floor. Your mom crushed my DS with her ass. Her gorilla grip made it hard to last. Gave her back shots while playing Blink 182. If things go right, you'll call me daddy too. 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 Hello, you just finished a full episode of Cancel Schweezy. That means that I love you. And if you made it here, that means I love you even more. Because you finished the entire episode. You're listening to me talk right now. So you're still continuing to hear me talk. So that is awesome. I'm very happy that you listened. I'm very appreciative that you guys listened. Make sure that you're subscribed. It not only guarantees that you never miss an episode of this show, but you can see us in your feeds, whether it's on YouTube or any of the millions of audio platforms that we are available on. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode of what you're doing. And, make sure you check out our YouTube page as well, because if you're just listening, you're missing out on so much more that is also on our YouTube page. I personally appreciate all of your support, and I'm just happy that you are along for this silly type of journey we call this podcast. And thank you for subscribing. Just make sure you don't forget that. And thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you.